halftime, and how great is it for a young player to be able to look at a professional league, especially one in your own hometown, and really aspire to that level. And I think it also is going to accelerate things at the top level for the United States Eagles. You got high-performance games, high-performance environments, and you're going to have good rugby, and that's going to accelerate, I think, a pathway onto the national team as well. So it'll get more competitive at the top as well.
Well, exciting day indeed as the stage is set for history in the making. The newly formed Major League Rugby. Is that all right?
Please remain standing. But ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you really to join us in the Houston SaberCats.
Well, we are moments away from kickoff here at Dyer Field. Let's have a look at the lineups in a second, but we look like we're going to have the national anthem. You can see the crowd have come out in droves. They love their rugby in Houston. A little bit of rain just drizzling, but it's not dampening the spirits of the fans or the players. And here is the Houston SaberCats lineup, brought to you by Aviva. Brian, what do you make of this roster?
Well, you got to like the Houston SaberCats lineup. I mean, 1 through 15, especially the back line. And you get the Fijians, Asea Kalinisau and Joshua Vithi, who's really, I mean, been the most prolific try scorer in the preseason. For me, the question of this team is 6, 7, and 8. Can the back row of Houston stay with the back row of NOLA? And then in the front, I think it's going to be an epic battle, especially as the rain starts to fall here in Houston, Mark.
Well, I had an opportunity to catch up with head coach of the SaberCats, Justin Fitzpatrick, a moment ago. Let's take a look. And joining me down on the field is the head coach of the Houston SaberCats, Justin Fitzpatrick. Now, Justin, you're the head coach of a brand new team in a brand new professional league. How does it feel?
Very exciting. You know, we've been building this for quite some time now. We've 16 games under our belt now, 2 already against NOLA, and we're looking forward to actually getting down to the big dance today.
And you mentioned you've already played NOLA twice, 32-all draw in your most recent match against them. What can you expect from them today?
They're a very dogged, competitive side, so we're expecting a bruising encounter, and we've prepared for that. And you know, if we're precise, you know, we feel that we'll edge the day out.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Justin, and best of luck to you and the team.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, you heard the coach, what he expects to see from NOLA. Let's have a look at their lineup coming up shortly. Brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank. Here we are, the New Orleans NOLA Gold lineup. Brian.
Well, certainly more experience in the front row here, led by Hubert Biden's 43 caps for the Canadian national team. And then, for me, a great back row. Sullivan, Houston, and Sebastian Khan. Look at the number 8 for New Orleans. He's going to be all over the place today. Some experience in the backs as well, led by Taylor Howden at 10. And questions, I think, for the deep 3 here. Bobby Johns, Michael Baska, and Tikwe Suva.
Well, 2 big teams in a very big game of rugby. We're going to go to a commercial break. Don't go away, folks. Kickoff is around the corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Welcome back, viewers. Kickoff is a second or two away for Game 1, Round 1 of the newly formed Major League Rugby competition. The Houston SaberCats are about to get us underway through Zack Pangilinan with the kickoff, and up it goes. Professional rugby starting right here at Dyer Field in Houston, Texas, as NOLA Gold, the boys from New Orleans, bring it out of their 22.
Ball is enter.
Goes deep for the kick from Howden. Sends it high over the 50-meter line, brought down by Trouville, who gets it back in to Pangilinan. Met by a wall of gold jerseys.
Away wide. Line.
Just short of the halfway line. Out to the right, Hewitt. Big man's met by a two-man tackle. Strong defense early from NOLA. Murphy has to dig around. That's good, strong running from a pod of forwards. Turnbull nearly gets it up to the halfway. Now coming out back to the open side. Strong run from Mills. And it's an early penalty, first penalty of the match to NOLA Gold. Houston SaberCats not releasing the ball there, Brian.
Just a slight wind in the face of NOLA right now, and you wonder if they would go for points. Taylor Howden, he's looking at the touchline instead, and they'll try a line out deep inside of SaberCat territory. Something interesting for me to watch on this particular field. You take a walk around it, and there's some swales when it starts to become a kicking game. If it becomes a kicking game, the ball is going to take some interesting bounces today. Something to watch for, Mark.
First line out of the game, brought down by NOLA. That's Matt Houston.
Line.
28-year-old.
Away, Black.
Former USA under-20. Wide pass from Howden out through the back line. He's up with Basker, and he's strongly met as well. Trying to stay in the field of play, but he's taken out, so we'll have a line out now to the hosts, the Houston SaberCats.
Well, something scary about the wing over there doing the work. Joshua Vithi wearing the 11 jersey, sorry, the 14 jersey for this SaberCat team, and he's put on some weight. He was a sevens player in Fiji. He's gotten into that high-performance training environment. He's stacked some weight on, but he hasn't lost any pace. Dangerous customer.
Come on the line, please. Thank you.
Speaking of Fiji sevens, there's a couple of players out there which we will talk plenty about today, I'm sure, for the SaberCats. Ball comes down now for Houston.
High tackle.
Penalty, it's a high tackle from NOLA, so they can settle things down and kick the ball out of their red zone.
First look here at Sam Windsor for Bungendore, Australia, New South Wales. Spent some time over in Ireland with Ulster and followed his girlfriend back to the States, Mark, and happy to be here in Houston.
Stop them.
Very familiar story for us expats.
Interestingly, met her in the Vegas Sevens, in the same place where Osea Kalinisau, his teammate, met his wife as well.
Brian Hightower with all the stats. Expect to hear plenty more from him behind the scenes as the SaberCats now second line-out win in as many throws. A little drop ball there, just took his eye off the prize. That was Stevens. Had a little look at the defense. Just some early nerves from him.
Well, first scrum here. And this is always revealing to me, Mark, to see if one of these packs can establish dominance over the other. We mentioned Hubert Biden's the big beard for the prop for New Orleans, 43 caps for Canada. We'll see if he can get a stable platform for the gold.
Crutch. Bind. Set.
Holden Youngett, scrum half for NOLA, feeds. Huge scrum there, and penalty. It's quickly taken by Youngett. That's what he loves to do, just raise the pace of the game. So he gets it over the 50-meter line. NOLA now, counter ruck coming in, but whisked away by Sullivan.
I love how Holden Youngett, the number 9 for NOLA, just ran straight into his opposite number. A little challenge, a little gauntlet being laid down right in the early stages of this match.
NOLA using the width. Coming back now through Sebastian Khan.
No hands.
Out in the open. Little kick from JP Eloff. And it finds touch. No, it finds touch, but on the full, so it will come back all the way from where the ball was kicked.
I changed my position.
Early error from Eloff there.
And a football field converted into a rugby pitch. And Mark, sometimes you're going to lose a little bit of width in that conversion, and sometimes when you measure, you just get it wrong the first couple of times, and Howden will certainly adjust his kicks from that little bit of evidence.
It's an interesting point you make there, Brian, because these kickers are so used to kicking on certain fields over and over and practicing, and they can play with dimensions and scale, having a narrower field like this one, but Houston bring it down.
Away to line.
And that was Sam Windsor taking on the defense. Now with Sumption, the captain, Colin Asau, Fijian Olympic gold medal winning captain. Little toe through there.
Offside.
Come back, penalty. That was offside from NOLA. So what will the SaberCats do here, Brian?
Yeah, you like to think they're in range. They got the wind at their back. They're inside that 10-meter hash mark, and I think,
Offside, guys.
well, a good tip of the hat here that this team is going for tries, and they want to score 5-pointers, not 3-pointers, and I always like that option anyways.
I'm sure the home crowd appreciate it as well. They've come
Mark
to
is
see
here.
their home team play rugby.
Black, come on.
So little toe through. But offside.
Make a
What's
stop,
the
guys.
call?
Make a stop.
Stevens with a throw. Brought down cleanly. Driving maul ensues. Tight drive into the 22-meter zone of NOLA.
Number 2.
NOLA throwing numbers in,
Side and
trying to
trans,
stop this huge pack. A little kick over the top from the scrum half. It's brought, and it's brought down cleanly, but it will
Number
come
2
back.
white. Side entrance. 2
No
times.
advantage.
I
So
talk to you, you go back and you come back. Side entrance. Number
side
2
entrance from the number 4, as you can hear the referee say, at the maul. So now Houston SaberCats with another opportunity.
And if you're watching rugby at home for the first time, or if you're just learning the game, one of the things you can do as a spectator is listen to the referee. He's mic'd up, and it's great. He'll kind of lead you through why he's called what he's called. And that time, Eric Howard, the hooker for NOLA Gold, being warned once not to come in from the side. He did it again, and side entry, says the ref. So pay attention to the man in the pink jersey, too.
Stevens with another successful throw. Wow.
Number 8.
I spoke too
You're
soon.
offside.
That's successful. So offside now at the line out
and you are in
from
front. This is
SaberCats.
the carrier ball.
And they have
Need
squandered
to be in
a
front.
magical attacking opportunity.
I talk to you,
Howden
captain.
finds
I
touch.
say to you, I want the
Better
carrier
kick.
of the ball in front, not the
Over the
support.
40-meter line. So gets his
for you.
team out of trouble. That was looking quite ominous for them there in their own territory.
Yes, it's good.
Now through Howden. Eloff out now to Moppin. Finds the wing, stepping back in. Bobby Johns away from danger.
Line.
As the forwards line up in the middle of the field. That's Hubert Bidens, the Canadian, 47 caps for his country. Now it comes all the way nearly to the other side of the field, using the width, NOLA. As you can see them just reforming. Once again, using width. It's a strong tackle coming in. Lindsay Stevens throwing his whole body into that one. Ball comes loose.
No, you have to run in away. Number 2 black.
Fortunately, Lindsay Stevens, after that massive hit, did not roll
2
away,
black. Hey, it's all good.
which is one of the rules at the contact situation, Brian.
Couple penalties. Both hookers looking for work and maybe getting pinged early on, testing the referee's interpretations of the law. Line out.
Wait me, please.
Now here's a good look at Eric Howard wearing the number 2 jersey.
Mark is here, guys.
The number 2 hooker for Canada, really in the depth chart behind Ray Barkwill.
NOLA through Howden to Houston. Same way for the gold. In the hands now of Moppin. Good run from Tim Moppin coming in. 7 caps for the Eagles. As NOLA approaches the 22-meter line. Back down the short side. Good tackle from Pangilinan. Now to the right, slower ball for NOLA. They'll reset. Got some big forwards out in the middle of the field. Howden, little drop there. Plenty of defensive pressure coming in from Robert Meeson. Possibly had a little look, so.
Knock on white.
Every once in a while you get the props out in the back line, Mark, and sometimes it's good go forward ball in the hands of one of your biggest guys in that time. Biden just can't get the handle. Good service so far from the base of the ruck from Holden Youngert. That ball just hits Biden's in the hands.
Remember, we've had a little bit of rain just before kickoff, so expect conditions to be a little greasy out there.
Don't let him off the hook that easy. Well, we saw the first scrum. It looked like the ascendancy from NOLA.
Come on, guys. We make a new mark here.
New mark, new mark.
They had forced the SaberCats down in that scrum.
Guys, be more close. I don't want to go on the knee.
You take a look at the referee here. And the first time what he said was that Houston couldn't handle the pressure from NOLA Gold and went down to the ground this time. Sometimes what the referee sees is that both sides go down together and that it's kind of an even thing, so he just resets it.
Strong scrum for the hosts.
Yeah, good right shoulder there from
No, Black, no.
the
Now
Cats.
Ball goes high and deep, taken nicely from the fullback, Michael Baska of NOLA. A step from Jojo Tiko Isuva. Penalty, high tackle.
And we've seen that twice today, and here's the interpretation. Anytime that arm drifts above somebody's shoulders when you make contact, whether it's intentional or not, whether it starts low and ends high or not, doesn't matter. You make contact there, the referee's going to call the penalty. He's been consistent twice now in the early moments of this first half. We've seen that call, and Howden boots it into touch.
Doesn't quite make it into touch. Pangilinan was right on the spot on the sideline. Well, that's off the knee. Did he knock that on? He did. Referee said he got a hand to it, even though Sebastian Khan appeals. He's trying to tell him that it didn't touch his hands at all.
You never win. You don't win an argument. You try to make your point.
This time it was the same.
Doesn't usually work out. And that big man has got plenty
Push straight and you have a long line.
of gas. Sebastian Khan, one to watch. We talked about him when we looked at the roster, the number 8 for NOLA Gold.
Not mine.
Chilean citizen, but has opted to stay in the United States to play his rugby.
Mine.
Fun fact about Sebastian Khan as well. Notice the green headgear that he wears. His mother came home with 2 headgears, one for him, one for his brother. One was green, one was blue. He chose the green, and he's always chosen green since.
Your mark is here.
Still touchstone for Sebastian Khan. Expect to see that green headgear everywhere today. Chilean under 20s MVP of the Pro League last year, and now Houston take it quickly
Advantage.
through Vithi, the Fijian. Not 10, so a quick tap again. Referee's not happy with it. Bring it back, he says. Connor Murphy.
Well, it's great. We saw that first quick tap. We talked about it before. Holden Youngert running straight at Connor Murphy, and Murphy returns the favor now. Tries to go quickly after not going 10.
I will trust in you. But if I have to give Sinbin, it will be not a problem. So do your job, and I do mine. Thank you very much.
Very clear instructions. You got to like when the referee establishes his control over the game, and no doubt about it at all. But yeah, I like the little back and forth between these number 9s. Always a little chippy between these two number 9s.
The penalty is because it's not safe. It was
Here we
a quick
go.
kick, 10 meters more because offside.
Youngert just going in for a little tackle, an introduction.
Hey, it's on me.
That's how you have a conversation on a rugby field sometimes.
Crutch.
Referee did warn them
Bind.
about that conversation.
Yeah, this man Murphy, Connor Murphy, used to play for London Irish, and the coach Justin Fitzpatrick for Houston, really high on the abilities. Says he's the best scrum half in the country right now.
Here goes Houston down that short side. Vithi from Fiji. Penalty again, not rolling away. The tackler yet again. It was calm this time. So they'll slow things down. Potentially go to the line, Brian, and look for a driving line out.
You can see early on, really Houston showing his cards. I think that they believe that their fitness is better than NOLA. They're really trying to push the pace of this game when they can. They're not opting for points. They're going for lineouts. They'll try to grind this NOLA team down here in front of a home crowd.
Black on the line out. How many guys? Full.
Well, and we saw a drive earlier from the first line out. You got a prop as the head coach. Sometimes that is a show of the cards to come.
That's exactly what they do. And Sumption, the captain, nearly goes all the way. Now they're over the try line. Might have been ripped though. I think it's been turned over.
It looked like Sebastian Khan reached in and ripped it away from Sumption.
He did, and he grounds it, so it will come back to a scrum on the 5-meter line, and
Ball is enter on the in goal about you,
so
it's a scrum Black.
SaberCats.
Well, it looked like the driving ball was on
Yeah, man.
as predicted, but Sumption gets stood up a little bit too high, and Calm just does a nice job. The number 8 for NOLA, stripping that ball away from Sumption.
Let's go. On me. It's
Tight one so far here, Mark.
Tune in, everyone.
It is indeed.
Crutch.
Feel like had most of the game played down this half. Feels SaberCats have had plenty of opportunities. NOLA holding them out, looking for a quick tap again.
Time off.
Was Murphy.
Number 3 and number 1. Come on.
Just taking control of this game. The man in pink.
I have an issue on scrum because you and you, okay? You don't push straight, and you have a short bind, okay? Every scrum, we go on this way. Okay. It's impossible. Yes. So if you have an issue, if I have an issue with you and you, it will be really clear. Okay. I give a sin bin to you and a sin bin to you, and we will have a good scrum. So, no, you push straight and you have a long bind because you short the bind. It's the same for both. Okay. So it's your responsibility. And trust me, I will take mine. Okay. Thank you.
That's great. The referee pointing out a couple of faults that he sees in the loose head prop. Biden's says his bind is too short, and the number 3
Team. Wait them.
Adam Macklin from Ireland not driving straight. So we'll see if both of these gentlemen can correct the errors in their ways.
Bind. Set.
1, 2, 3, hold! 1, 2, 3.
Here come the SaberCats now. 5 meters out from the line. Connor Mills is held up. Come back for another penalty. Quick tap ensues. It's Colin Asau. 1 yard. He tries to get over. Has a second taken. Looks like it's try time. So Colin Asau, the Fijian, scores the first try of the MLR.
And the interpretation there by the ref, and what it is you get one shot to stretch towards the line. So there's the initial burst, and then there's one movement forward. And he had judged that Osea Kalinisau, former captain of the Fijian Olympic gold medalist,
you ask me something, I answer
did just that.
It's because they start to up and after up.
And you'll see the quick tap after this tackle on Connor Mills, the hometown kid from Woodlands Club. And you'll see him ground here and now stretch once. Referee has good line of sight. And talked to Osea Kalinisau before this match, and he looks really happy, you know, and sometimes when a player leaves Fiji and comes to a faraway place like Houston, it can be uncomfortable, but he's really been accepted. He's got his buddy Joshua Vithi, his teammate, with him, and his wife just gave birth 6 weeks ago to little Tui.
Okay, yes.
So they're adapting well here and have had themselves a little officially an American citizen.
An immediate strike.
and the future rugby champion, I'm sure.
Yes.
He does look happy. It's
Okay.
just an example of the opportunities that
Time
this
off,
wonderful
water
game
break.
of rugby offers.
Water break.
World travel,
Yes,
now
90 minutes.
Olympic
No.
medals.
You go on water break and you come if you want. Quickly. No.
And,
We were just wondering.
so looks like we're going to a water break. It'll be 1 minute. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be
No, it
back
was good. They are
in a
good.
moment.
Position was good. They start.
And welcome back after that short 1 minute water break. Here at Dyer Field in Houston, Texas, it's NOLA Gold sending it high through Taylor Howden, the captain. You are watching game one of round one of this newly formed MLR, the Major League Rugby competition. As Youngett gets it away under pressure.
Not rolling away. Take her.
Again, not
They can
rolling
play
away. There's
fast.
been quite a few penalties for that infringement, Brian, in this match. Players just loitering
Not running
around
away,
after they
guys.
make the tackle, which is illegal, of course, in rugby.
Shoot. On goal. Yes. Pause.
Yeah, the discussion there between JP Eloff and Taylor Howden about the options. Could have kicked it pretty close to that 5 meter line, you reckon, and
Kevin.
have a scoring opportunity
start of
for a
penalty.
try. Instead, they'll take the 3 points, which should be automatic, well inside that 10 meter
That's about
stripe.
penalty.
Sometimes
Play,
it
play.
can be a little pressure valve release for teams. They've been defending a lot of this game down in their own territory. They finally get up here and just, sometimes it's a good way just to settle back into the game after being defending for so long. Just get on the scoreboard, build the score, and get back in touch with the SaberCats, who are currently 5 points adrift. As you mentioned before, Brian, it's a close encounter. And the flags go up, so a successful penalty attempt by JP Eloff. New Orleans are on the board.
Nice nudge from Eloff. And Nate Osborne, coach for NOLA Gold, talking about Eloff, their number 12, and how he can really play any position in the back line, and what an asset to have. He can move into fullback, he can come in and play fly half as well. So very skilled in the backs is JP Eloff.
Little knock on there from Bobby Johns coming in. It was a very difficult take. Courageously tried to catch it on the full before it
Mark is
bounced.
here, guys.
And of course, that hands the Houston SaberCats an opportunity just outside their 22. You can see this back line full of pace, plenty of size as well.
I'd really like to see the number 11, Alex Elkins, get involved and get some touches. Absolute battering ram. A man who's been nicknamed throughout his career the Grenade. He just blows things up. And a pleasure to watch with ball in hand. We'll see if Elkins can get a few
Come on,
touches.
here. Yes.
Bring it.
Elkins at 6'4" and 240 pounds.
Come on,
You'd be
here,
crazy
you
not
mark.
to bring him into
Number
the back
9.
line. You can see him
Please be more
poised
fast. Be more fast.
on the
Because if you are
inside
not more
shoulder
fast, I will
of
give a free kick.
number 10, Sam Windsor.
Keep it low. Seconds.
Well, his opposite as well, Bobby Johns. for NOLA, originally from New Orleans. He's no slouch himself, kind of a bowling ball build to him. Probably relishing the challenge.
No.
Short arm penalty. Incorrect feed into the scrum. From Connor Murphy. He has a little word to the touch judge as well. Didn't like the decision whatsoever. And Youngert takes a quick tap, looking to raise the pace of this game. Strong run from Houston. Youngert again. Quick line speed from the SaberCats. Pinning them behind the advantage line. That was Sumption. Dummy there coming in. Just over the 40-meter line, but goes out. So, a little error there from NOLA.
And again, perhaps it's the width of the field that's kind of got to be learned on the fly. You know, it's something that you just have to play into and realize that, you know, sometimes the width on the ball can't be as wide as you've been doing in training. The kicks can't go as far. This field, the way it slopes as well on both sides, it's built for drainage, and so it's going to slope and mound at the top. And the ball, anytime it's kicked, it's not only going to make the ball go into touch, but it helps you kind of run into touch a little bit faster as well.
You flag or no?
Point there from Brian Hightower.
Line.
Former USA Eagle.
Use it.
NOLA. Bring it up to the 40-meter line.
Away black. Line.
Youngert gets it behind now to Howden. Sends it high, midfield. It's going to come down just over the 40-meter line. Pangilinan's under it, takes it safely. Great take from the man from Guam. And here's the big man, Joshua Vithi. Still going, Vithi. Showing his speed and strength. He might go all the way. Yes, he will. Joshua Vithi for the SaberCats. Second try of the match. How on earth did he do that?
The deep three for the SaberCats. We talked about how dangerous they were, especially the likes of Vithi. They still haven't even used Alex Elkins yet, but that was all because of the work by Zack Pangilinan under the high ball, and he lays one back. Kalinisau there quickly and goes to his roommate, Joshua Vithi, who does all the work by himself. And if you're the NOLA Gold, you got to look at your defense and start asking some questions right now. About 6 different players had an opportunity to put Vithi on the ground. No easy task, but pretty unexcusable from a defense.
Defense seemed to fall asleep, as you can see here, Brian.
Well, I said earlier that here's a man who was always the fittest back in Fiji, and now with some weight on him, man, that is a tough person to stop. And he's long, he's 6'2", but he's got those long arms, and when you stick those levers out, people try to get inside you. Very difficult task, but maybe a little more commitment on defense if you're NOLA Gold.
Sam Windsor to add the extras. A strike from him, just creeps inside the right post, so an extra 2 points for him and his team.
Well done from Windsor. Windsor talked to earlier in the game, said his family back in Australia might be having a peek at the game right now.
Okay.
So good day to all of you down under watching your hometown boy, Sam Windsor, just nudged a nice little conversion.
Stay back. Stay back. At the end, stay back, please. It's when you want.
Yeah, that's how it feels to have Joshua Vithi on your team. Right there.
They're off to a storming start.
Line.
Houston SaberCats' Connor Murphy dribbles that one through. Well caught by Youngert. High tackle on him.
Play, White.
Play on, says the referee.
Line.
NOLA. Let's see just how slippery it is out there.
Knock on. Away,
Went
black.
backwards. So it's play on. At work and taking it forward. Howard. Met well. Still going.
Away, black. No hands.
Good yards from Howard. Now Howden dummies.
Advantage.
Takes on the defense.
Offside.
And that is offside. So
Offside black, good
SaberCats
call,
just
Luke.
a little overzealous there with their defensive line.
Offside black.
NOLA get a chance. Howden already shaping up for the sideline.
And no question about the option there, even though, again, JP Elof's boot is certainly good from that distance, but they want to get right back into this game. A good decision by Taylor Howden. I like to see Howden with the ball in hand. He's got a nice little step. He's a stout build for a fly half, but he can move through people as well as around.
Wait me. Hey, line out, please. Thank you. Keep the space.
Taylor Howden, New Zealand born. He's actually the NOLA Academy coach as well, so consider him a player coach for New Orleans.
Come on.
A bit of a journeyman as well. Has played a lot of rugby and coached for Tiger, as well as being in Denver for quite some time. And a lot of the guys out here, Mark, with journeyman stories.
Talk about that as we see NOLA advancing with a good driving maul. Getting involved is Bobby Johns, coming off his wing, taking some pressure off the forwards. Might have been a little knock on there, but it'll come back for a penalty.
6 black.
You can hear the referee calling number 6, Kyle Sumption, the captain, offside.
A good pressure there by NOLA Gold, and only 9 points down and knocking on the door. And they'll go for the line out, and that's a nod to their big men.
Or scrum or something like that.
And the accuracy of their line out.
You, because all your players have to do things. You wake me? You wake
Eric
me?
Howard, the hooker, doing a fine job getting it in. Canadian with 11 caps throws it. Just as I say that, he throws it over the back, doesn't hit the mark, and it's cleaned up by Sam Windsor for the SaberCats. A huge let off there as they bring it out.
Line!
A pretty adventurous throw. When you go deep on that, all the way to the 15-meter line for that line out, and you don't hit the mark, and obviously, you know, it's easy to second guess now that it hasn't gone well for him, but 5 meters out, you want to have something that goes in hand.
Pangilinan.
How many? 5 guys.
Only finding around 15, just over 20 meters with his kick.
You talk about journeyman. Zack Pangilinan from Guam made his way to the United States to play some rugby, and then traveled to Randwick in Australia to play a little bit more of late.
Ball goes over the back again in the line-out, but this time cleaned up by Houston. Slow ball, quick tap from Youngert. Still going, was he 10? Definitely not. 5 meters out now as they line up on the left-hand side. Forwards coming in, pick and drive. Within 5 meters of the SaberCats try line. NOLA, their best attacking opportunity of the game. Still going, strong run, low driving. Might be held up. Inches short of the try line. The ball spits out, comes out to the right. That's Calm. He's well tackled. Making inroads. NOLA, so close. Now, coming in off the wing is Tiko Asuva.
Oh, look, he's wrapped up there by Joshua Vithi. Comes off of his wing to get involved in the midfield. And one of the reasons he's able to do that is because NOLA has tightened up so much.
NOLA now, still picking and driving. It's been 10 phases and they have not proceeded 1 yard. Still on the 5 meter line. Advantage, says the referee. See what Howden does. Sends it out to Calm. Quick hands there, out to Johns. Still playing advantage. Oh, that's a strong tackle coming in, flat ball, but no advantage played, so we'll come back for the original infringement, and NOLA still with the ball.
Flat ball to Tim Maupin, and Maupin knocks it on. One of 2 St. Mary's Gales collegiate players out there. Holden Younger, one of them wearing the number 9 jersey. Tim Maupin, the 13.
Next time, it's a sin bin. Yes, sir. So keep your player.
Kyle Sumption getting a little earful here, and I think it's
here's a penalty. Captain.
His work at the ruck.
They are not running away. It's a scrum.
Being warned here. Yellow card is the next move, says the referee.
Luke, stay here. Do your job.
So advantage being played, an interesting move. Looks like a scrum has been chosen by NOLA.
Mark is here, guys.
That's just confidence in your tight 5.
Yes, it is. They also are right in the middle of the field. Difficult to defend. Have wide space out to the right, wide space out to the left. Sometimes difficult to line up against. SaberCats hedging their bets, putting an extra man on this side. Quick tap from Calm. Looks like he's going over. Easy try for him, so NOLA hit back through. Sebastian Khan, the number 8 from Chile. They come within 4 points of Houston.
Well, we talked about Sebastian Khan,
Good than you.
the young Chilean-born
What happened, Luke?
number 8. I tell you what,
Yes, I will change.
sometimes you just got to
I said
tap the
now.
ball. You got to take it on your own shoulders and go, and that's exactly what Calm does. Good defense by the SaberCats down on their own goal line, but good awareness there by Calm.
Thank you. Yes.
And he runs right over Assumption.
Kevin, the time. Okay, perfect. We'll have 1 minute more.
No one was going to stop him. He did really well. You see the body height coming in as he approached the try line. There's no way that he wasn't going to score that try. And Elof adds the extras. We are back in the game, 12 points to 10.
And really, you know, we saw that first 15 minutes or so with the ball all inside the NOLA half. A great job of possession and territory by the SaberCats. But the last 10, 15 minutes, it's been really the flip.
Pangilinan sends it high. Uncontested. John Sullivan makes an easy catch of it. Calm, the try scorer.
Use it!
Youngert.
No, wait, no,
Back
no!
to Howden. The kick goes high, doesn't make too many yards, and it's brought down well by Vithi.
Advantage, knock on black!
It's a knock on, so it's a turnover and it's play on.
You see the wind there really holding that ball up and then pushing it back.
Away!
NOLA
Advantage over!
through Howden. Fullback, Basker coming in. Crowd thought it went forward.
Line!
Play on.
Use it!
Bobby Johns brings it in the middle of the field.
Away, black! Line.
Biden's. Howden goes without it. Houston. It's called a knock on as well.
Hey. Oh,
Thought it might have gone backwards, but
thanks.
trying to run their way out
Knock
of
on white.
the red zone there, Brian.
Black.
Yeah, and I wonder if because of the wind, it's pinning that kick down, so it's taking that option away from Taylor Howden. If he goes off the boot, it's really difficult to gain as much territory. So I think that might be restricting some of his option. You can see the flags on top of the posts just straight lining.
Now we go.
You can see some of his kicks being held up in the breeze, those high balls and up and unders.
Oh, it's good.
Bringing
We play.
that ball
Allez, vamos.
back. And they have
Well, and the kick before that was taken about 40 meters by Joshua Vithi all the way to pay dirt. So
Crutch.
difficult when a team takes away one of your best platforms.
Set. You, not bind.
penalty at the scrum.
I think we might see our first card here.
No, you don't have the bind. Every time you collapse, every time there is an issue.
Wow, Jake Turnbull sent to the naughty chair, so he'll spend 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Wait, please.
Referee saying he's not binding. Let's have a look at that again, Brian.
You collapse and no bind.
You see there right on the side. Referee's looking right at him. Wants that arm to come up and bind clearly
Wait, please, man.
on
Mark is here.
the tight head prop from the NOLA gold.
Howard gets it in quickly. And here come the gold. Basker slips through one and another.
Away, black.
Good run from Michael Basker. Youngert finds Biden's. Takes his team up over the halfway. creeping up in defence for the SaberCats. They need to be careful. Already a couple of penalties for being offside. Howden out to Basker. Missed pass out to the left wing. Suva. Oh, under pressure, Youngert slips the ball out. And now back in the hands of the SaberCats. Pangilinan tries to beat the first tackler. Can't get away. So the SaberCats settle things down. Their attacking line gets set. Here come the forwards, ready to charge forward. That's Colin Asau looking for some action, but can't quite pull that one in. A little bit of miscommunication there.
I talked to Zack Pangilinan, the fullback for Houston, before the game and asked him about the style of play. And he basically said that they're going to keep it in hand and try to play some running rugby. I wonder what would happen if they started to maybe hoof a few balls up in the air to test the deep three. The last time Bobby Johns for NOLA had an attempt at a high ball, he had some difficulty with it. It might be time to change tactics a little bit, start hoofing the ball a little.
It would make sense, especially with a swirling breeze out there and still a little bit of grease on the ball.
Kevin, it's good.
Just had a replacement. Kenneth Hepburn coming on.
Yeah. So these are the machinations that a team has to go through when a prop gets sin bin. Hepburn on, and then somebody has to leave the field. That's why Elkins has walked off the touchline. There he is, staying warm.
Crutch!
Turnbull, of course, the man being sin-binned. It's very important to the time a scrum packs down, replace him with another prop.
And maybe a little bit of difficulty there. You got Macklin going up against.
Come on here, new mark. Guys, be more close. If not, I just give a sin bin and I will give other.
Let's go.
Be more close, guys. Be more close.
Rarely you see a sevens player convert to a prop, and that's what Kenneth Hepburn has done.
Crutch!
Played for Jamaica, his parents' home nation. He's the first American born of the Hepburns. Everyone else from Kingston, Jamaica. And played some sevens for Jamaica in 2013 in Hong Kong. And again, has turned himself into a prop.
Good scrum from NOLA, earning themselves a penalty.
And Hepburn getting a little bit of pressure, I think. And the dominance, perhaps, in the scrum from NOLA. And I think it's Biden's is starting to kind of sow his oats a little bit. And Eric Howard at hooker doing a great job in that front three. And that's where they've been able to really have the most success today. I think that tight five of NOLA.
Kevin?
It's got to be tough, too, coming on as a replacement prop. Not warm. The first action of the game is packing down in a scrum. Might see Hepburn just get a little bit warmed up as the game progresses.
Back.
One would hope.
And this is a time with a 10-minute sin bin.
20 seconds.
You got plenty of chances to maybe roll the scoreboard over. So instead of going for the corner, Elof sets it on the tee.
Half time after the kicker, guys.
Still no mean feat. 38 meters out for Elof. Slightly off center. You see the ball just holding up in that breeze that we've been speaking about, and Pangilinan pounces, sends it long. And that is halftime, folks, here at Dyer Field. The hosts, the SaberCats, are hosting NOLA Gold, who lead 13 points to 12. We have a tight one in the first ever game of the Major League Rugby Championship. See the try scorer there, Vithi, Joshua Vithi out of Fiji. What a try that he scored before, Brian.
Indeed, yeah, impossible to tackle, apparently. And the first try from his partner from the sevens team in Fiji, Osea Kolinisau.
Yes.
It's a difficult tackle, no doubt. Interesting, this wind, I think the effects it's had on the field so far, and you know, where you reach into the bag for a pitching wedge, and instead you got to kind of club down a little bit and certainly become a factor. I also think that, like we said before, the tight five, really, I think for NOLA has been what's kept him in the game.
She mentioned this breeze, which seems to have just picked up in the last 20 minutes or so. It was behind the backs of the SaberCats. We noticed Taylor Howden struggling to make any leeway with his kicks. I wonder how much that will come into play, and how, talk about a breeze being worth a certain amount of points. You could fully expect NOLA being behind at the moment, so you would have to say have the advantage in the second half.
Well, especially the style that they've shown so far. They're more prone to put the ball on their foot, which means if you got the wind behind you, you're probably going to be able to stay inside your opponent's territory a little bit better. And then if you have the ascendancy in your tight five, in your scrum, then those two parts of the game right now going the way of NOLA, and I think that bodes well for them in the second half. Houston's going to have to find another gear in the halftime huddle.
So remember, they're going to come back on the field in the second half with only 14 men. Jake Turnbull, prop, of course, still in the sin bin. Expect him to be there for probably another 5 or 6 minutes in the second half. Now that is danger territory for the hosts.
The way things were going, we expected maybe Houston to start to run away with it a little bit. They were up 12-3 at one point, but
don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back for second half action in a moment. Aviva, pushing boundaries in the digital world where everything is possible. Learn more at aviva.com. It's game time at Carbach Brewing. Wants to remind you that nothing goes better with the game than a cold Love Street Blonde or Hopadillo IPA. Proudly brewed in Houston. And of course, the hosts of this match, Houston SaberCats, here in Houston, Texas.
A little bit of chippiness at the very beginning. Gotta like when your number 9s are getting involved. And then this man, Joshua Vithi, he's been very active on the day. This will set up the first try by the SaberCats. Kalinisau held up there, and he'll run to the mark, tap it quickly, get hit by Sebastian Khan, and then stretch over for the try. And that starts the scoring campaign for the Houston SaberCats. Nola Gold trying to get back into it. Ball bouncing around a little bit there, but a penalty called by the referee, and they come back for a penalty. And JP Eloff, one of the Rugby Elofs, kicking over for 3 points, and then counterattack. Here comes Vithi once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Nola Gold defenders with a shot. Nobody can put down Vithi on his way into the in goal for the second try for the SaberCats. 12 points to 3 it was, but then penalty at the scrum. Quick tap by Sebastian Khan, and Khan goes calmly over for a try for Nola Gold. Conversion good there, and marked 12-10 at the halftime break. The hosts, Houston SaberCats, just managing to hold on to a 2-point lead, but they'll come back, as we mentioned, in the second half. They will have the wind in their face against a team that really has started to exert a little bit of dominance up front, has a kicking game that they've exerted a little bit more, and 14 men on the field to boot instead of 15.
We knew it would be a tight match, Brian Hightower. If you're just joining us, viewers, welcome back. It's halftime here for Game 1, Round 1 of the newly formed Major League Rugby Championship. The Houston SaberCats are taking on Nola Gold from New Orleans,
and
here
perhaps
at Dyer Field.
Perhaps, Mark, future MLR players in our midst as we take a look down at the field. Entertaining the crowd are some 11 and 12-year-old wannabes. Woodlands versus the Katy, Texas Rugby Club, and a lot of action out there. So great for these kids to be able to come out. The future of rugby bright here in Texas and around the country with the start of the MLR. I've been impressed so far with some of the play. You expect maybe a little bit of first game jitters from both of these teams, New Orleans and Houston, although as we talked about before, they've both had a pretty substantial early preseason.
You're right, Brian. It's so great to see these youngsters out here, and now they have some homegrown players to look up to, and not just international players that play professionally. Well, we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Second half action coming up. Welcome back, viewers. We are making history here today in Houston, Texas for the first ever Major League Rugby game between NOLA on your screen there and the hosts, the Houston SaberCats. I'm Mark Stabina. Joining me is USA Rugby legend Brian Hightower. We've had a tight affair in the first half, 12 points to 10 in favor of the hosts. Brian, what do you expect from this second half?
Well, you know, I think that NOLA with the ball in hand, really, you know, more kicking from them. I think that's what we're going to see, and they've got the wind at their back now. And I think especially a player like Taylor Howden, who's been around for some time, maybe starts to put the ball and test the deep three. Although the danger in that, as we saw earlier in the first half, is you put the ball into the hands of Zack Pangilinan and he finds Joshua Vithi or Oscar Kalinisau or the really infrequently used Alex Elkins right now. And I still think that once he gets a few touches, he can be a game changer. But I think that's what you got to do, is you got to get more ball in the hands of the SaberCats. Hey, Justin, can you hear us?
No.
Technical difficulties with the head coach of the SaberCats, Justin Fitzpatrick.
That's all right. He's probably happy to duck the interview and get back to business. Second half kickoff to come from the aforementioned Taylor Howden. So if I could make a coherent thought of my last, I think with the wind at the back of this NOLA gold team and the direction from number 10, Taylor Howden, with ball in hand right now, they're going to put some pressure on this SaberCat team. And if you're the SaberCats, you got to endure the rest of this yellow card, get your full strength 15 back on the field, and then start figuring out a way to get downfield into NOLA territory.
Kickoff just over the 10-meter line for Howden. Wonderful kick from him. But it comes down with the SaberCats. Just over the 40-meter line now. Out through Sumption, captain of this Houston team. A little knock on there by Kenneth Hepburn, the replacement. So looks like the nerves from the first half have continued for Hepburn. Just taking his eye off the ball.
Mark is here. Stay with you guys.
Well, here we go. First chance for NOLA with the ball scrum. They've had a lot of success, especially in the last few minutes of the second half in their scrum. And you wonder if Howden is thinking about going up with the ball.
Split the field now, NOLA. Off to the right goes Youngert. Calm gets it to him. Howden shapes up, sends it out to his winger, Bobby Johns.
Line. Use it.
Back midfield through Matt Workin.
Line.
Taken on quickly just from the base.
Line.
Bentar.
Use it.
Out now. Fast line defense. They've got an opening out wide. There goes Elof. Dummies. Steps back on the inside. Looks to keep going. Well brought down by Connor Murphy, the scrum half for the SaberCats. NOLA advancing through a pod of forwards. You can see Workin driving the ball carrier forward. Out the same way, Howden, nice cutout pass to Bobby Johns. He's had plenty of touches today, Bobby Johns. Back in field.
Black away.
Howard makes a meter. Inside the 5 meters now.
No hands. Line.
Couple of meters from the try line. NOLA looking strong, and he's gone all the way over the line. Too strong, too big. NOLA have opened up this second half with the first points.
Well, perhaps a statement in the opening minutes of this second half. And all through the work of the forwards.
Are you okay?
Good ball movement. We saw a few phases back. A nice run by Eloff. And they'd taken advantage of a one-player overload. Managed to gobble up a lot of field. It looks like Matt Trouville shaken up a little bit for the Houston SaberCats. And the try there, number 4 for NOLA, that is Nikola Bursic, and he is also a Chilean-born player. 27 caps for his native country, and puts NOLA in front with a try. Trouville still getting a little bit of attention down there on the dead ball line, and that's got to be a concern. He's
obliged to play.
Kind of one of their
I'm obliged.
linchpins for the forwards. Trouville.
Your play on back foot and when you want. Wait. What happened, Kevin?
Yeah, take a look again. There's Bursic just bowling over
We do?
Trouville.
Okay. It's number 8 is off.
I can't really see
Good.
clearly what the injury might be. I thought it might be a concussion because he's walking off the field very slowly, holding his eyes, but comes back to the play now. Oh, well, quickly taken from Johns, coming in off the wing, all the way up to the 40-meter line of Houston, and a penalty to boot. Not releasing a tackle play, so under pressure there. Great run from Johns, getting NOLA right back into this game.
10 meter more. You.
And lack of discipline there from Vithi.
You wait. Here, and you
So
wait.
now more territory for NOLA Gold.
Number 14, you talk. You have just to go on 10 meter
Good
more.
shot there by Vithi up high on Bobby Johns. Illegal hit though. And then trying to win the ball in the contact area, and then has some words for the referee. So SaberCats marching backwards once again, opening minutes of the second half, and NOLA with a lot of momentum right now.
You see there with that penalty, Brian, rugby enthusiasts will remember that that used to be legal. You could make the tackle, bring someone to ground and go for the ball straight away, but you must clearly release your arms from the tackled player for attempting to pinch the ball, in which case Vithi didn't. Now we see Eloff putting it through the posts, just building the score now, NOLA.
Yeah, wind at his back, and Eloff has been good. Almost automatic in those conditions. The younger brother of Philip Tabu, Eloff, his brother with 35 caps for the United States. A thundering center.
21, man.
Scored 50 points in his career for the USA. So lots of rugby talent in the Eloff family.
Pangilinan just rides the breeze. Ball bounces around finally in the hands of NOLA. Just on their 22.
And finally it's the SaberCats working down inside NOLA territory.
Line! Ball is enter, guys.
Through Howden.
No, wait,
Finds some space. No, he doesn't. Straight down the throat of Zack Pangilinan. Brings it back, nice step.
Away wide.
Met by 2 big men in gold jerseys.
Not rolling away.
One of them not rolling away, so penalty to Zack Pangilinan for the SaberCats. And as you mentioned, Brian, finally the SaberCats getting some territory in this second half.
Yeah, and normally a kickable penalty from this distance, but Windsor puts it into touch, and we saw what happened right before the first half ended when Eloff hoisted the ball up towards the post, and then it got blown backwards right at the end. So wind definitely a factor here.
Wait me, please. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And Hepburn goes off, and it looks like full strength once again.
You will have time, guys. You will have time. How many? How many? Full line.
Yep, there is the number 1, the brother of number 2, Lindsey Stevens. His stepbrother, Jake Turnbull, served his 10 minutes, now back in.
Oh, pinched by NOLA.
Knock on, advantage.
Great work at the front of the line out. Men in gold. Now
advantage over, away black.
bringing it out, ball in hand, looking for Howden. Marshalling his troops. He doesn't want it just quite yet, sending another forward run off the base before now getting into Howden's hands, looks like it hasn't cleared. Awkward bounce over the head, and he's taken it out as well. And that will be a line out to NOLA. So a mistake there.
Good job. Yeah, it's a good
Joshua
job.
Vithi.
Yeah, a little bit too casual, and it looked like he caught him right in between, wondering whether he should catch it in the air or let it bounce. He let it bounce, and then he casually took it into touch. So that's a break for NOLA.
5-1 and 3. 5-1 and 3.
And here comes Hubert Bidens and Ben Tarr. So the props being replaced for NOLA Gold. Also out is number 5, Matt Workin, the 6'6" lock from Kansas City, Missouri. He's done his time, and he'll be replaced as well. Cam Falcon checks in
Time on.
for NOLA.
Howard finds the mark. Now Howden,
Yeah, but nobody in front.
to the
Nobody in front.
huge replacement.
I have to let them breathe.
Simone
Away, Black!
and Weyer to the left. Oh, just going without it there was Youngert. So it'll come back for a little knock on. Referee right on the spot for that one.
Yeah, you can see the dummy runner and then the loop around by Youngert, and it's a good play. Very deceiving, but the timing just a little bit off and drifts off the hands of Youngert. So a break for the SaberCats just when NOLA's starting to eat up some of their territory once again. Derek Van Klein also in the game for NOLA
Keep
Gold.
the bind. 9.
Affectionately known as Diesel to his teammates and coaches,
Crutch!
or DVK.
Bind!
Hold your weight, Black! Hold your weight, one!
Fun fact about
Guys.
Derek Van Klein, Brian,
You have to stay and keep your position.
go-to
okay?
song
Last
at any
call.
karaoke bar is Vanilla
Martyr.
Ice.
Get him, DVK! Let's go, goal!
Brings the house down with his rendition of Vanilla Ice every time.
He's got a bachelor's in studio art from Minnesota Duluth. Does
Crutch!
the aforementioned Derek Van Klein. Might have a chance to talk about a little bit of his abstract art a little later, but meanwhile it's Connor Murphy with the feed. Finally, good stable scrum now that Jake Turnbull is back in the game.
Through Pangilinan, great tackle.
Play, play, play! You release the ball!
Weyer. Still going is the try scorer, Vithi. Such a hard man to put down. Oh, ball was out, or was it? No, it wasn't.
Not running
Says the
away!
referee.
Tongawea for NOLA Gold, and
Not running away
He is-
and offside, guys.
offsides according to the referee, playing the scrum half before he is able to get the ball from the base of the ruck. A 50-50 call sometimes. Mark, you see that go either way. Windsor kicks deep into touch, and SaberCats finally with a little bit of momentum. 6 points down early in the second half.
Mark is here, guys.
Watch Vithi here. Now you got to release the ball. He does. He gets quickly
Come on,
back
the
up,
line
and
out,
even when you
guys.
tackle him, you got to tackle him again. He's that quick. He's that good. And there's the offside penalty against Tongawea.
Stevens, good throw into the line out. There's Murphy coming back the short side, little pass behind to Pangilinan, puts the kick ahead. Now it's a race. He wins the race, brings it down, but tackled also. Here come the SaberCats, nearly over the try line. They're about 1.5 meters out with a penalty. Great work, Zack Pangilinan.
Come on with me. Hey,
Connor Murphy's happy about it.
let me do my job.
Yeah, so this might be a yellow card, and this is holding onto the ball,
No,
slowing
they
the
want to play
game
fast.
down. Penalty
I talked to our
clearly
captain.
called, and
It's
that
you.
is Eric Howard.
You have to go.
He's shown the yellow.
He's here. You stay. No, no, you go. It's a yellow card. He stay here. They want to play fast, and he stay. He keeps the end.
Yeah.
He never release.
He never released.
Clearly
Yep.
an obvious.
You want to play quickly. You got to give a team a right to play quickly from
Hey,
the
hey.
penalty.
It's here, the mark.
Howard,
Number
the
9, the
Canadian
mark is
hooker.
here. Perfect.
and watch this
Wait me.
recollect there from Zack Pangilinan. A well-weighted kick and a perfect take. And then Connor Mills, he's from Houston, Texas, trying to get one over for the hometown crowd. Instead, results in a penalty. Quick tap now.
Away, no hands, white.
Here comes Houston. 2 meters out, they pick, they drive.
No,
Still
no, no,
short.
away, you.
Referee says no.
Oh, and a knock on.
A little knock on. Well, you know, 10 minutes in the bin for a professional foul, preventing the try. It might have,
blood injury.
I'm speaking very early now, but could very well be a
Blood
good
injury,
decision.
guys.
If his team can hold out for 10 minutes and hold the SaberCats from scoring any points, and that was a worthy infringement. But right now, they're still under pressure, NOLA. They do have the scrum feed, preventing SaberCats from a certain try there. If you're just joining us, welcome, folks, for History in the Making. This is game 1 of round 1 in this newly formed Major League Rugby Championship. I'm Mark Stabina. Joining me in the commentary booth is former USA Eagle rugby legend Brian Hightower.
Yes.
Players from NOLA just being attended to at the moment.
Yeah.
I like the fight back here from the SaberCats, and we saw the first 10 minutes really dominated by NOLA, and now it's Houston knocking on the door here
1-3 for
at
what
home.
team?
Going to have to be a front row substitution here.
1-3?
And
Okay.
number 16 coming on the field
You're the new hooker.
is Amro Gouda from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Are you
He
okay,
will take
Tim? It's good? Perfect.
a spot in the front row, and out goes Tim Maupin. And so will we see a repeat? When Jake Turnbull got the yellow card in the first half, it really kind of threw their scrum for a loop, and we'll see if Houston can do the same to NOLA here. With a fresh face in the front row for NOLA.
Crutch. Bind. Set.
Holden Youngert, the number 9 for NOLA, to feed.
Push black.
Doesn't need to. Short arm penalty, early push from the SaberCats.
Yeah, it's a little bit of gamesmanship sometimes there in the front row, and it's a discussion item amongst the tight five. Is, well, let's yield a little bit on the hit and see if we can get ourselves a free penalty.
Wow,
And
what
so,
a kick from Howden.
A bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card there from Howden from the free kick off of the
2 and 5. 2-5
scrum infraction. So a big break.
2 and 5.
While NOLA's trying to burn about 9 more minutes on that yellow card.
Now number 2 substitution.
Kind of feeling that Vithi's just getting caught a little shallow on those kicks. The breeze is behind NOLA. It's a couple of times that the
Number
kick has
3.
flown over his head.
I'm on the mark.
Be worth just setting himself a little deeper
Guys, I'm on the
in
mark, so come on,
anticipation
and
of
you
the kick from
go back.
Howden.
Go back. Voilà, thank you.
Here's
Perfect.
Diego Macchiera, originally from Flushing, New York, with the throw in the line out for the SaberCats. Doesn't look straight.
Not straight.
You know,
Referee
tough to come in, and the first thing you do as the
Captain.
reserve hooker is a line-out throw. And Macchiera,
Or line out.
he's a converted hooker, used to be a flanker, played his rugby at Northeastern, went there to play football, and they disbanded the football team, and so he ended up on the rugby team instead. Macchiera been working really hard for a long time through Mystic River up in Boston. One of those many journeyman rugby players that find themselves at Dyer Field today in a historic opening for the MLR.
Bind. Set.
Holden Youngert for NOLA. MVP for the final of the
Use it.
National College Championships. Of course, playing with St. Mary's against Life. And Howden sends Bobby Murphy racing. Bobby Johns, I should say.
Use it. White.
Coming around the corner. Forwards of NOLA. That's calm.
Away, black.
Unmistakable green headgear. Plenty of penalties in this match. A lot of infringements at the ruck. Again,
taker,
not
you know,
rolling
you have to
away.
release.
So Houston SaberCats tacklers just insisting
Number 7,
on just
not release,
hanging
not
around the
running
ruck.
away.
And
Captain.
how big
Captain.
a missed opportunity will it be
You know
for
what I will say.
Houston, unable to come away with points down inside 5-meter line of
Mayor, what?
NOLA Gold. You see Elof putting one on the tee again. You know, there's some players that always have kind of a quiet grind and maybe not a lot of moments that are highlight worthy, but I really like the way that Matt Houston is playing, the number 7 for NOLA, the converted center. Now playing open side. Keep your eyes on Matt Houston.
This penalty kick will give NOLA a nice buffer. Put them further than a
22 guys.
try away, but it's unsuccessful, so they stay only 6 points ahead of the hosts.
That's exactly what happens when you start calling a kicker automatic. He misses.
Your player back fit, man. 15. Look, your player in front of you.
Pangilinan
Back, guys, when you want.
with the 22-meter restart. It's been one of the SaberCats' most solid performance today. Get the purchase he wanted to on that. It's easily down in the hands of NOLA. Ball comes out in midfield. Strong tackle. Two-man tackle, in fact, from the SaberCats.
Yeah, great double up there. There's Miles McQuone in, playing lock for
Away, Black! 12!
Justin Allen. We talked about the size of Allen now in the game. The biggest man on the field by far.
Offside. New offside. 14. Advantage.
Mongolia.
14 Black offside.
That's Falcon. Coming back in was Tiko Isuva.
Line.
Advantage being played though.
Little chip over the top. It's going to come down in the hands of NOLA, and it might be a try as well.
Just like that. You talk about Matt Houston, and then he goes up and gets one.
Great play from Matt Houston with the try. Did not take his eye off the ball, and that looked like a little rehearsed move. I think there was a bit of communication between Youngert and Houston there, and it's paid off.
Well, that's what happens when you take a center, you turn him into a flanker, but he's still got a center mentality, and he looks over, and Youngert's got a nice little chip kick on him. Great communication there. Houston pulls one down for NOLA.
It's always a very ambitious option, isn't it, Brian, to put a little kick, a chip kick into the 22, because if it doesn't come down on your side, it comes down the hands of the opposition, they can mark it, and then you can find yourself way back in your territory.
Well, no risk there for holding Youngert because of the advantage being played by the referee. So you have a little speculative kick like this, and if the worst case scenario is you go back to the mark. So I like the option. Good smart play by the number 9 from St. Mary's. Won a national championship with the Gales under the coach Tim O'Brien. He's put 2 St. Mary's Gales, as we talked about earlier, on this back line for NOLA Gold.
JP Eloff on his preferred side, curls it in, beautiful kick, and adds the extras as NOLA are racing away with this match in the second half.
And a quiet crowd here. Dyer Field suddenly lost their voices.
Let's see if they can find them again, if the SaberCats get back. It's come down on the side. Might have been a little knock on, and it was, unfortunately. Would have been a nice restart for them.
Knock on, 7 Black. Scrum white.
To settle for
1 minute
a
to water,
scrum.
okay.
With the opposition feed. NOLA, remember, with a breeze behind their backs.
Here we go, boys.
Crutch.
Despite the breeze, they've mixed up their play quite nicely.
Set.
Youngert feeds. Strong base. Wheeling now to the left, coming out to the right.
Bodies off.
Johns steps. Finds a couple of meters. Now through the middle. Nice quick hands from the forwards. Skillful pack. This NOLA pack. Youngert looking, finds Howden. Howden gets charged down. So it's play on. No player is offside when that happens. Ball comes out the back. Youngert's quick to get on it. Johns puts it straight to ground. So a sloppy piece of play there from NOLA. And the SaberCats come up with the scrum feed.
Okay, good for me.
Looks like an injured SaberCat on the field as well.
Time off.
We're going to take another short break here for a hydration and a commercial. Don't go anywhere, folks. And we are back from commercial. The players are all hydrated after their 1 minute break. Welcome back. We are 20 minutes into this second half of the first ever Major League Rugby Championship clash between the Houston SaberCats and New Orleans.
NOLA turning the tables on Houston, who have carried the lead into the first half break, but it's been all NOLA ever since.
Away, White!
Assumption brings it away. Through Windsor. Oh, ripped out from Howden,
okay.
But it's regathered. No, it's knocked forward again, so NOLA should come up with it, and they do in the form of a scrum. Well
Knock
done,
on black.
Taylor Howden, on that occasion.
Number 4, black.
Sometimes when you're trying
If it's
a little
time,
bit too
time for me.
hard, you forget
Okay,
the
perfect.
basics, which is protect the ball. And we saw it twice there. SaberCats losing the pill.
21.
First one ended up kindly in the hands of a teammate.
Oh, it's not the 21, it's the 16.
And there goes Eric Howard.
Okay, it's good. Perfect.
And Howard had
Mark is
served
here.
his time.
Here we go.
And there's Emerald Gouda. Came in as a sub for NOLA. Some valuable minutes from Gouda. They didn't yield a single point during the one-man advantage, and that's huge. You foreshadowed that earlier, Mark, how important it would be if NOLA could prevent Houston from scoring during that one-player advantage, and they did just that.
No, no, no! 15.
From Howden, taken by
Good, man.
Pangilinan. Waits for his reinforcements. Tries to counter-attack, takes it on himself. Brought down. Does well. Good strength from Pangilinan. Colin Asal, he's been quiet this match since his first half try. He's on the 40-metre line.
it!
Murphy looks open to Windsor. On the 40-metre line now. Good, strong running coming in from Chris Coyle.
No hands.
Placement flanker.
Okay, it's on the push.
Quick hands there from Murphy. Colin Asal gets it away. Looks like it's gone back, says the referee. So still with the SaberCats. They haven't moved. Quick line speed coming in from NOLA, but managed to escape. That's Jake Turnbull. Leaves behind the ball, but it's gone backwards. Murphy digging in. Penalty goes quickly. Murphy still going. There's Youngert. He's opposite. Tries to get the ball away. Colin Asal comes in. He's been more active now. And a little knock on from the replacement.
It was a good idea. Just throws a really unkind pass. Does Colin Asal to the knees of Diego Maciera, the replacement hooker for Houston, and he can't find the handle. So just when they're starting to put a few passes together, it goes forward once again and back in the hands of NOLA. And despite being in the NOLA half, it really doesn't yield anything positive.
Nine.
Just fortuitous bounce there into the hands of Colin Asal, and just a lazy pass by the Fijian Sevens captain.
White 11. 11. 11 white. Who is the 11? It's 11.
13 points down, 16 minutes left, and I'm not saying it's panic time for Houston, but this is the time where you really got to kind of rope up the concentration.
It's okay, Kevin? Perfect. If it's okay for you, it's okay for me.
Looks like they've
Time on!
attempted to rope up the speed of the game. Connor Murphy taking it quickly. That's one thing I've been impressed with from both teams, is their willingness to tap and go and just pick up the pace of the game, catch the opposition napping in defence.
Crutch!
It's for a more exciting spectacle as well.
Fine!
As we see Holden Youngett poised, feeds the scrum. Very strong scrum from NOLA.
The strength of the wind, kind of obvious by where Zack Pangilinan is lining up deep inside his own 22, waiting for a kick from Taylor Howden. Instead, a penalty against NOLA. And this will be important. Windsor trying to get it down deep into New Orleans territory.
Kick from Windsor. Sam Windsor. Just this side of the 22-meter line.
I've noticed, Mark, that
Mark is here, guys.
Houston's starting to lose their attacking shape a little bit through the phases. They look a little bit out of sorts. Are they going in pods? Is there going to be a pass behind a pod to a receiver? Is there going to be a missed pass? Or how are they collecting themselves during phase play? And if they're not organized in phase play, they become a little bit easier to defend. And then the ball starts to tighten up a little bit, and it starts to compound.
Makiera.
And that's no help either. Makiera 0 for 2 in the throws.
Good kick coming in, just using the breeze, and a kind bounce as well, just punishing the missed throw of Makiera. Sometimes, Brian, it's no expert with the line out, but I know that sometimes it's not always down to the throw. Sometimes it could be the timing of the lift. Hard to tell on that occasion.
Could be. Apologies to Diego if that was the case, but he's certainly struggling to find the mark.
Full. Get it. Black.
Let's see if the third time's a charm for Diego Makiera, the replacement hooker.
Up. Wait. Come on the line out, please. Come on.
Hey, you're on the line? He jumps, I go to you.
Play on.
And when all else fails, go front jumper, and that's exactly what happens. A good line out for Houston. And also a good run by the sub, Malachy Esdale.
Another good run coming in from Cecil Garber.
Advantage for.
Bringing it with ball in hand all the way up to their 40-meter line and earn themselves a penalty. Here goes Colin Asau. No stranger to the quick tap. That's how he scored his try in the first half, as now Houston come out to the open side. Might be isolated there. I think he is. He's done well to roll back and get the ball on his side. Here comes Connor Murphy digging in. Short pass to Sumption, captain. Same way. Could have been offside. Houston, referee says play on. Crowd didn't like it.
Looked like he was a little early off the mark. Houston.
Out to the left. Windsor steps, gets through. Windsor looking for support, throws the fend out, finds Vithi now, gets the ball ripped. Regathered by Colin Asau. Still with the SaberCats. Good run from Turnbull as well, just buying some time. Looking very flat in attack. Comes back through the centre, ball still a little slippery. Just slowing things down. Colin Asau getting in, supporting. Murphy digs. Penalty. Colin Asau. Away he goes again. Youngett coming in. He was 10. Play on. That's Garber. Same way. Murphy shapes. Dummies. Gets hit well by Diesel. Derek Van Klein. Vithi gets the ball away. Sumption, the captain. Still driving. Releases. Picks up. Finds another meter or two. Slow ball for Houston. Charlie Hewitt pops a little ball away, coming back in. Vithi getting in the thick of the action. Could be a penalty, and it is. Not rolling away. Tackle player needs to get out of there. And this time Houston will not tap it quickly. They'll take their
Time
time,
off. Wait.
take a few deep breaths,
Captain.
and assess the situation. Well, that's better play from the Houston SaberCats.
A little bit more, you know, just some urgency in their game, and they have to have some urgency in their game right now. 12 minutes left.
Okay, we are on a bad dynamic. Yeah. I just want your player keep their self-control, and we continue to play. Thank you. No.
Referee asking for some self-control from
you going to touch?
the boys from NOLA Gold.
Time on.
Penalty being kicked now. It's Windsor. He'll go to the corner. The three-point option is off the table for the home side.
Okay, black 9, number 9. Substitution 9 substitution. It's for you.
Now, Brian, I think referee Paul-Henri Courboisier is doing a great job today, communicating to his players, warning them in advance, communicating well and taking control, and certainly not tolerating any back chat.
There's no doubt who's in
Where
charge.
is the number 9?
No doubt. Whether he's right or wrong, he's in charge. Interesting here, you see Connor Murphy has gone out of the game, and now Osea Kalinisau, wearing the 13 jersey, shifts into the scrum half position.
Here come the SaberCats as the home crowd get behind them. Huge noise from the grandstand as they drive it forward. Still going, the SaberCats up over the line. It's try time! Houston SaberCats, they're back! Wonderful driving maul from the home team.
Elementary stuff there, but often the simple stuff hard to execute, and they do a great job, the SaberCats do.
Okay, perfect.
And really, the workroom,
For you, it's good
Justin Allen, the big Ulster Academy lock, who puts a lot of weight into that maul. And there's Jake Turnbull. We saw Turnbull take a 10-minute break earlier with a yellow card. That is perfect timing for the young Australian to make a statement and pull the team with this conversion within a try again.
As you said, Brian, they really needed this. More than 2 tries behind. They seem to just change gears in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Less than 13 minutes to play. As Windsor makes no mistake.
No doubt about it. And suddenly 13 points is 6.
Perfect. Good for me.
Well, that was such an important conversion from Windsor. Had he missed that, they still need a converted try and some. They would still be 1 point behind, but now gets them within 1 point. All they need is a converted try to take the victory. But don't write off this NOLA team. They are still in front.
What you like here is you see the number 13, Kalinisau, everybody on board, and that's a sign that of the urgency and just team commitment. You see the wing come in, get involved. Good pushover.
Bowden sends it high and long. Pangilinan brings it down and gives Esdale a chance. Kalinisau in its scrum half. His first scrum half pass of the game goes awry. And it results now in
Scrum, guys. 5 meter.
5 meter scrum to NOLA. So all from the pass of
Great pressure and just a very difficult pass to catch.
Time off. Mark is here, guys.
Sometimes when you exert pressure on a team, they start making mistakes out of really simple skills. Pass and catch, the most basic of them, not executed, and
Time is off.
it results in a chance for NOLA knocking on the door of the Houston SaberCats now. And looks like Eric Howard, the hooker for NOLA Gold,
Time is
get a
off,
little of
Captain.
attention.
Yeah, sure.
As you see, Kalinisau, scrum half, not his strong suit, but he
8. No, 8.
will deliver the pass when need be, but you can bet your bottom dollar that he will be looking for any gap that he can find around that ruck area.
Kevin.
Well, give him an inch.
And the trouble, and I think the wind's died down just a little bit, but it's still coming right in the face of the SaberCats. So if they're going to try to kick their way out of this,
The score on the board is good.
they're going to find some pressure, and it's NOLA's ball.
Please.
And we've seen their scrum, at least in the first half,
It's okay. We go.
with the advantage over the Houston pack.
Yes. We have to go, man. It's good for you.
Let's go. Let's go. All we got here. All we got
We
here.
got to go, says the ref.
All we got.
Let's do it.
Let's go find it.
Time on.
Just never know
Mark, is
when
it,
the
guys?
heavens may open up here in Houston as well.
Well, it's a huge scrum for both teams. One try, the difference between the two. Any points from NOLA would make it very difficult for Houston to answer back.
Holden Youngert feeds the scrum. NOLA in charge at the moment on the 5-meter line. Picked at the back by Calm.
Away, no hands, Black.
Forwards pile in, look to pick and drive, and they do. This left-hand side,
No hands.
wrapping around the corner in numbers, slowing things down. Youngert shapes.
Away, 19.
Tongawea. Still 3 meters out. NOLA.
Use it.
SaberCats defending for their lives right now. Out to the left, Calm. Good drive from Calm. Falls about a meter short. Out to the left, Elof steps, comes in. Brilliant footwork from him, and it is a try. JP Elof, has he put the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, the referee is awarded the try.
Let him be. He's all right.
Team crowding around JP as
Number
he
12.
gets up very slowly
Number
after
12
dotting the
for the
ball
try.
down.
Number 12.
Might have
12.
fallen awkwardly.
How are you, man? You know where we are?
Yeah, Houston Tech.
It's okay.
We're in Houston.
It's JP.
That's great. I tell you what, sometimes, Mark, we see through phases close to the goal line where teams are afraid to pass the ball out. They keep it tight, and they end up squandering the ball. But
Kevin, the time, please.
really some just confidence from this NOLA
7
goal team
minutes.
to ship it out to Elof, and then Elof just has a nice little step, finds his way over the line. Great pass from the base there by Youngert.
Brian, as you said, it was the clever thing to do. You saw the SaberCats lining up in defense, expecting another pick and drive, expecting it to come again, and then just shifting that point of attack made it very hard to defend. And Elof, give him some credit too. The job wasn't easy. He had to step and then adds the extras to his own try.
Sorry.
So well finished
6
from
okay.
JP Elof.
Substitution.
Less than
6
6
black.
minutes to
6
play.
black is
Things
off.
are not looking good for the
Number
home
6,
team.
guys.
Well, that
Who
is
is the
a
captain?
very different bench than the one
Who
we
is the
saw in
captain?
the first half, celebrating that Joshua
Who is the
Vithi
captain?
try. And really credit to New Orleans.
It's good.
They kept it close in the first half, and they have just exploded in the second. And they've played a really smart game plan. They've used the field better. They've used their forwards, and it's resulted in points.
It's a great take from Calm. The ball flies over the back. That man being lifted in the air. And it's a penalty to NOLA. Side entry
number
from
19
one of the
back.
SaberCats.
Hey. Next time, I turn off the penalty. Okay? Captain, I don't want
Quite
to.
a lot of ill discipline around the
No, keep
ruck
him on the
area in this match today.
No, wait. Time off.
Time off, says the referee. So now some weary legs out there. Has been a physical encounter.
Yes.
A few players slow to get to their feet throughout this match.
Check.
Fortunately, we haven't had anything too serious on the injury front.
Time on.
Time is back in play. Sebastian Khan is on his feet and good to go. And Howden finds the line. 35 meters out from
Black 3, okay.
black
Yes,
and
he's
yellow
off. Perfect.
try line.
Mark is here, guys.
NOLA with the line out throw at the front. Sullivan brings it down. And now the drive follows. Youngert searches. Oh, just can't quite hold on to it. Tonguia lets go of it. And now here comes the SaberCats. They need to do something. They need to get back on the scoreboard. Well done by Makieta. Brings it in and gets the ball away to Garba.
Away wide!
Colin Asau comes in at scrum half, gets the ball away. Little offload.
Right away! Advantage over!
Bringing it out with ball in hand. The SaberCats. Colin Asau again at scrum half. Hepburn, the big man, brings it forward. Just working the same way now. Houston. Colin Asau back in the middle of the field. That's Chris Parker. Colin Asau probing around that ruck area. Much rather run it than pass the ball. Penalty, and away he goes. Colin Asau gets it away. That's Hewitt, still going Hewitt, the big man. Quick ball now, same way for the SaberCats. Try scorer Vithi gets it out to the replacement, Dan Paul. And now, Dan Paul gets it back inside for Vithi. It looks like play on, the referee's right there, and it is a try. Brilliant play from the SaberCats in the dying moments of this game.
Perfect, thank you. Time on.
Well, Brian Hightower, if this kick goes over,
It's not over yet in Houston.
1 minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay? Talk to the TV. Okay, Kevin?
a massive
1
kick
minute.
from Sam Wenzer. There's the replay of the try. Little dummy there.
Great.
And that's, you see the try, but you'll probably hear the roar of the crowd because Sam Windsor was successful with the conversion. So still, 6 points in it, 2 minutes left on the clock.
The time is right and I have 1 minute and a half more than this time. Okay? Sorry?
We back, baby!
Substitution number 2.
Wow,
Number 2 is
just
off.
the kind of finish you would expect from the opening match of the Major League Rugby
Perfect.
Championship here in Houston, Texas.
We go captain. Top player back.
We're on the edge of our seats here, folks.
Captain,
Last
go.
substitutions coming in. Amro Gouda comes back in, fresh legs for NOLA. Can this Houston team pull one more rabbit out of the hat? And that's the man who can do it.
No hands
Bottled
away.
up well.
Colin Asau brings it out, finds Hepburn. The crowd have come back to life. Just keeping ball in hand, nice and tight, mistake-free rugby. Charlie Hewitt,
Don't move, don't move. Line.
Colin Asau sends it in.
2 minutes, 70 meters.
Windsor,
Release him.
he's met well. Forwards pile around the left-hand side. NOLA defense holds firm.
Away. Line.
Colin Asau still going. Sends it to Windsor. Out to Pangilinan. Dummies. Goes forward. Steps. Two-man tackle coming in.
Release wide.
Desperate defense
Don't move.
from the NOLA Gold. Colin Asau. Is he isolated? He might well be. Support comes in. Pangilinan acting scrum half. Finds Garba on the 40-meter line now. 10 phases at least for the SaberCats. Oh, and he's brought down. He looks like he's in pain. Referee might pull it up. He'll call time. Let's have a look and see what happened, but he did not look comfortable when he was tackled there, Brian.
No, it's you.
And that is the
Away.
number 1, Jake Turnbull.
No, I will stay because you're number 1.
Turnbull, well, I think he's being accused of holding on to the ball on the ground, but I think he was writhing in pain.
Yes, wait me.
And this is unfortunate for the SaberCats.
Post.
And Elof will attempt to put the dagger in.
So, no, it's not me, man. Yes? No, not for me. We will have 1 minute after the kick. Yes.
Wow, that was quite extraordinary. Jake Turnbull, victim of a fierce counter ruck. Got caught awkwardly. As you said, he looked like he was in pain. Held onto the ball in the process, which resulted in a penalty to NOLA, but everyone just kind of stood there. Thought the referee was going to pull the play up for a serious injury, but Turnbull is up and okay. And now we have Elof with a chance to seal the match. And that is exactly what he does with that penalty conversion. Seconds left in this game. NOLA Gold extend their lead to 35 points to 26 over the Houston SaberCats. Colin Asau comes back to restart.
It was always a difficult ask to go 80 meters into the wind.
No hands, Black.
Let's give some credit to the NOLA defense for holding them out there, and now they are on the attack just over the 40-meter line. They are not done. Still driving.
Away. No.
He's coming in. Howden shapes. It's brought down just over the 40-meter line.
Use it.
Calm.
Not yet.
Youngert finds a pot of forwards.
No hands.
Now returning the favour to the SaberCats, just keeping ball in hand. Close to the ruck.
Don't move.
Youngert back to Howden. Must be time up because he just fires it perpendicular to the try line, and that is game, set, and match.
Wow, statement. Statement game from NOLA.
Wow, full time here. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment.